Thank you very much, Madam Chair. Administrator Wheeler, thank you for being here. A few weeks ago, you commented on an often overlooked provision of the Clean Air Act, Section 115, an integral part of President Trump's decision to pull the United States out of the Paris Climate Agreement. You said another aspect that a lot of people gloss over is that under the Clean Air Act, if we enter into an international treaty, such as the Paris Climate Accord, if we fail to meet our targets, those are enforceable under our domestic laws. While this issue gets very little attention, this seems like a very big deal to me. For example, we know that advisors to Hillary Clinton's presidential campaign supported invoking Section 115, but recommended against mentioning it during the campaign, because I imagine they thought that using an obscure provision to regulate the entire U.S. economy would not poll very well. I would like to enter into the record an article written by the Center for American Progress titled "How the Paris Agreement Supercharges the Clean Air Act." Madam Chair.
Without objection.
Thank you. Which details exactly how far those on the far left would use Paris to impose overreaching climate regulations across the U.S. economy. Can you please elaborate on this threat from Section 115 and how it might be used to circumvent the U.S. Congress?
Certainly. First, I do want to just clarify my remarks from a few weeks ago. I didn't mean to suggest that that was one of the primary reasons President Trump used for withdrawing from the Paris Climate Accord. I actually wasn't with the administration at the time, so I did not brief the President on the Paris Climate Accord. I know he cited trade issues,
right,
as well as the fact that we were treated differently from China and India and other countries. But I completely agree with you that Section 115 could give, and I think the Center for American Progress paper on this is evidence of that there are certainly people that want to use that section of the Clean Air Act to allow third parties to sue the United States government if they fail to meet treaty obligations and force them to then meet the treaty obligations. And the Paris Climate Accord is a treaty. It wasn't submitted to the Senate for ratification, but it still has the same ramifications of a treaty.
Yes, thank you very much. Also, has the EPA witnessed lower demand for ethanol following the granting of small refinery waivers over the last 2 years? And do other agencies besides EPA conclude that ethanol demand has not been impacted as a result of these exemptions?
You're correct. Ethanol demand has not been impacted by the small refinery program. In fact, we've seen an uptick in ethanol over the last 2 years. So far this year, the industry's produced more ethanol than they did at this point last year, and we do not see any demand destruction from the small refinery program on ethanol production.
And other agencies you feel that have the same opinion?
It's my understanding the Department of Energy has that same opinion.
Okay. Thank you very much, Administrator, and I'll yield back, Madam Chair.
Thank you very much, Ms. Bonamy.